So Salman Rushdie got stabbed.
That came out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
Also, the stabbing.
You know what? You know why he was at Chattanooga? Was Chattanooga? I think that's where he got stabbed in New York.
Right.
He was there because he wanted to talk about how the U.S. was one of the best places for like exiled writers because it's so safe. And I'm like,
the irony.
that's so funny.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I don't want you to be stabbed,
right.
that's funny.
That's a Simpsons joke,
That's
right?
a Simpsons joke. And here's the thing: the podcast is called The Persian Perspective,
Right.
And we kind of have a thing for that guy. The fatwa.
Yeah, Khomeini, right?
Khomeini, Ayatollah Khomeini, the supreme leader at the
That was a
time.
while ago, though.
The
This was in the 70s.
thing is, I don't remember it being lifted.
No, they sort of like left it.
I think they kind of just faded away.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck, man? Like, Salman Salman.
Salmon.
Has Salmon put anything else? Maybe? Like,
Salmon.
that's been particularly aggravating?
No, the onigiri, what?
Nope.
Nice. Has he been to any sushi restaurants? No. Has he actually put anything out recently that's like aggravated things? No.
Not really.
So
No.
what the fuck?
It's not that stupid, but I mean, he has spoken about it multiple times in many documentaries.
I mean, that's,
but the rest of the books that came out after that, nothing like. Here's the thing: I tried to read the book. It is his worst book, which a
lot of people have said that.
It is. It's a fucking bore fest, and I fell asleep on the first page.
My
it
mother
is that
described
bad.
it as like the arrogant fantasy of a man.
Right.
I wish I could tell that because your mother has apparently read through the whole, made it through it. I couldn't make it through the first 30, 40, 50.
You tried. You
I
really
tried.
Yeah.
And you know, like you read 100 page and then it looked like what the fuck did I read?
I've only read.
What kind of writing was it? No, I know it's fiction, but like, was it like dense or like descriptive?
If it's anything like his short stories, his prose is more purple than Prince's living room.
I don't know what that means.
It is just a lot of flowery language.
He uses ancient talk a little bit. Does that make sense? Like
what?
Not ancient talk,
very
like
Victorian
kind of.
Oh, I don't. Okay.
But
long
not
prose.
Shakespearean,
No,
by the way.
No. But just like flowery.
But like, it's what you would expect to hear in Aladdin. And or 1001 Nights, Arabian Nights.
So he wanted that vibe, blah.
The way his sentence structures is that what you would expect from a play on those, like a British play on those is
understand.
like
right.
So it's a weird Orientalist version of his own.
And very
the chamber of the gods within the business of a knot. Like a gods.
God damn, Salmon, we get it. You have a thesaurus. Shit.
It's very much that. It's very much.
I didn't even. I can't even say a sentence of it. But I'm trying to give you the vibe.
Yeah, I understand. But from what I know, that fatwa came out in the 90s, right?
Earlier.
Oh, Satanic Verses.
Far earlier. So, by the way, who has read that here?
I haven't read the Satanic Verses.
I haven't read that thing either. I don't think the people who did the fatwa have read it either.
I don't think anyone who's angry at him read the thing.
Nobody. Funny enough, he was saying like how much it helped the sales of the book.
Of course.
He said there was a guy, an Indian shop guy, who was like a bookstore. He said that people like Muslims are marching in India trying to like burn the books. And he said like they passed my shop and I said, they burned it. He's like, no, they bought all of it.
Yeah. It was the same thing in the US before the explicit lyrics sticker was a thing. They were trying to get it into like regulation. And people were against it, like all the musicians were against it.
Right.
But then they finally did it, and it boosted sales like crazy.
Like, this is a taboo.
Everyone wanted to buy it.
And it was honestly, I was like, my joke was like, what a waste of fatwa that was.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what is happening? The thing is...
Is there like a depiction of the Prophet?
There is a Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. There is a character called Mahmud.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently, it's an ancient older way of Muhammad.
Okay.
That's a stretch.
No, not a stretch, because there are depictions of Salman Farsi, the guy who, that the conversation is there, and then I think there was a reference to Salman Farsi changing up the Quran. So the Quran is actually, but the thing, I don't even remember if it was explicitly mentioned as Quran.
Right.
That's the problem. You see, the book is so horrible. I can't even tell you what the fuck. It was horrible. It genuinely is. He says like, so when he said like, and the God was all knowing and all seeing, I wrote all knowing and merciful. When he said no one, I said Jews. Like love everyone, I said love everyone except Jews.
Right.
Like
it was like
he was the way he was. The part of the story is that Salman Farsi actually injected false stuff, and and Mahon, the character of Mahon, apparently didn't realize he has done that.
Right.
Okay.
And can you just give me just search for the synopsis of the Satanic Verses so we can have an idea.
Obviously it doesn't matter how good or bad the book is. It
starts with two people falling from heaven. One of them is Gabriel, and another person is Mahon, apparently.
Okay.
And the thing, it didn't. I don't know if it needed the controversy that it caused. I don't understand what happened. But the thing is, it infuriates me because, number one, my country is behind it. Now they're quite silent about the matter because naturally it's an embarrassment. But at the same time, it's like...
Do you think it was a political thing?
For what happened to him?
The fatwa. Do you think it was
I refuse to answer that question. I refuse to answer that question. Because you will not have me on record describing that one.
Okay, so I'll say it's a political thing. Because, judging from the chain of events, things were close enough to where it's this seems...
The thing for Salman Rushdie said it wasn't because of what I wrote, it was because of political thing. I was used as a scapegoat. His interpretation of the events is that this was a political matter, not a religious matter.
Right.
But I'm the thing that saddens me is that he now got stabbed. He's not a bad writer at all. I read Enchanters of Florence, which is a very nice.
He's got nice short stories. It's good.
Yeah, Luca and the Fire of Life is a kid's story. Beautifully written. He knows a mystical language. He writes in a mystical language, and it's actually very interesting tales. He's a legitimate storyteller. He's like a Neil Gaiman, but with a bit more arrogance.
Okay.
Neil Gaiman, Oxford level. I've studied in Oxford kind of shit. It's but the thing is, he got stabbed a couple of times now, and I'm like, do you have any idea how much damage this action causes on the Muslims, on everybody else?
It's not even an Iranian guy. The guy who stabbed
the guy's Lebanese.
Yeah, he's Lebanese.
Yeah.
Which is just didn't you guys...
The thing is, when the fatwa started, all the Muslims listened to it. It wasn't just him.
Yeah.
It wasn't just Iran. Everybody else was after him. Everybody who...
It's weird that the fatwa just brought together the Sunnis and Shiites and were fuck Salman.
Yeah, fuck Salman. Yeah, but
it did die down a lot. I hadn't heard.
I think
anything.
He even converted to Islam just to seek forgiveness.
Oh shit! Okay,
yeah,
I didn't know that.
Very weird. Okay.
Yeah,
I think he was an ardent atheist. That's part of the thing.
I mean, he did it to save his life because he was he disappeared for 9 years.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you find the synopsis for the Satanic Verses?
So, here's the thing. Even in synopsis form, this is an incredibly dense description of what the hell is
it a little bit I can't remember the guy's name, Gabriel Garcia, I feel like that's
Gabriel Garcia Marquez?
Yeah, where 10,000 years. Was it 10,000 years?
Well,
10,000.
Not even that.
No.
Something like that, but like where it's like super dense and like.
I tried to read that book. It's very difficult.
Here's the thing. The actual storyline has nothing to do with the verse, as far as I can tell.
The only part of the verses, as I said, is like I thought it was just that.
Yeah.
And interesting enough, people were talking about it like it's a real thing. I was like, oh, there's an evil version of it. But then I was like, oh no, this is just a storybook.
It's just a dude
fiction
who wrote something.
This is a fiction book. So can you please read out the goddamn synopsis to this fucking book that is like, which I'm pretty sure the sales are off the charts now again because people are like, ooh, what happened?
He's in hospital though. Apparently he might lose his eye.
He's off the ventilator. I checked today. I'm happy to hear that. Honestly, I don't.
I think it's a fucking shame.
I honestly like face palmed myself. I was like, shit. Because Iran is going to be behind it. Iran is synonymous with him.
Yeah.
And we already have a bad reputation. No, he's Indian.
Then what the fuck? Okay.
And she's some Indian dude with a posh upbringing.
Okay. But they're going to be associated with each other.
But we're forever as synonymous with the fatwa of Salman Rushdie. And I'm like, this is not nice. We already have a bad reputation.
You know, I've realized, and it's not, and it's partly because we're in Malaysia, so shit is going down as well here. I think a lot of Muslims have this tendency to be very insecure about their own faith. And it's not even a Muslim thing, because it happens in almost every religious circle.
Right.
To the point that where they see, because they're insecure, they feel the need to be externally very secure.
Right.
Yes.
Into violence.
Right.
Because it's more about like, I really don't believe in this shit of like, no, I'm coming to whatever religion's defense. That's not your fucking reason. Mm. Your reason is because you knew that you wanted to do something.
Yeah.
And you were going to do it.
The synopsis?
The synopsis is...
Interesting point, by the way.
Yeah.
The synopsis
possibly,
is essentially
like... Any hyper-religious person has that. Continue. So here's the synopsis for the Satanic Verses.
So... The frame narrative, like many other stories by Rushdie, involves Indian expatriates in contemporary England.
Oh, what a shocker.
Yeah, of course. The two protagonists, Gabriel Farishta and Saladin Chamcha, are both actors of Indian Muslim background, but Farishta specializes in playing Hindu deities, kind of like Amitabh Bachchan, or, And Chamcha is an immigrant who has broken with his Indian identity and works as a voiceover artist in England, right? They're both trapped in a hijacked plane, flying from India to Britain, and it explodes over the English Channel, but then they are somehow magically saved, not shaved. No, maybe shaved.
Magically shaved?
Yeah.
Wow.
I might read this book.
Need a bit trip. Yeah.
Man, I'm going to go through it with a new eye.
Yeah.
And then they're transformed where Gabriel Farishta, the guy who plays the Hindu deities, is changed into an archangel, changed into the archangel Gabriel.
Okay.
And the other dude who broke with his Indian identity changes to the devil. Right?
Okay.
And that dude gets arrested and passes through an ordeal with the police and is abused as a suspected illegal immigrant. And it says that Farishta's transformation can partly be read on a realistic level as the symptom of the protagonist's development of schizophrenia.
Oh, we don't need that. We don't.
But whatever.
Whatever. I just want to get to the part where it's like
I want to get to
kill
the
over this.
Oh well, So there's a whole bunch of like. The guy who gets changed to the devil gets really, jealous, and there's a love interest, and she gets thrown off a cliff. Whatever. So the controversial thing is in a bunch of dream sequences that are embedded as
that's what I remember. Yes.
Half magic dream vision narratives, which apparently Farishta, the dude who like changes into the Archangel Gabriel, remembers. And one of the sequences is a fictionalized narration of the life of that character, Mahund, you know, or the messenger as it's called in, you know.
Oh, you can't call him the messenger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. At its center is the episode of the so-called Satanic Verses, in which the prophet first proclaims a revelation in adopting 3 of the old polytheistic deities, but later renounces this as an error induced by the devil.
Okay.
There are also 2 opponents of the messenger, quote-unquote, a heathen priestess, Hind, and a skeptic and satirical poet, Baal. But when the prophet returns to Mecca in triumph, Baal goes into hiding in an underground brothel where the prostitutes assume the identities of the prophet's wives. Also, one of the prophet's companions claimed that he, doubting the authenticity of the messenger, has subtly altered portions of the Quran as they were dictated to him.
Oh, so it specifically mentions the Quran. Okay.
Yeah, so one of the prophet's companions claimed, okay. So basically, this dude hears a bunch of hearsay about one of the prophet's companions having very, very subtly altered portions of the Quran as they were dictated to him. That's the one that's considered like blasphemy.
Yeah.
So the book really is named after this.
That's the thing. Is like I don't know. It's like I expected the whole thing to be that, and then now you mentioned there's only a small portion of it that's dedicated to.
It kind of feels a little bit like not religious fiction.
We have no idea how I was like so intrigued when I got the book.
Course,
I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be. I need to know what was the controversy, and I was like, just.
It seems to me that this is a metaphor for something else.
I was thinking more like what am I talking about? Paradise Lost kind of thing,
right?
Where it's like taking elements of religious, mythology, and then putting that into a fictional story.
Fan fiction. Yeah.
So I feel like if he just labeled it as fan fiction, he would have been good.
I didn't think he thought he needed to.
The thing is, the book also had apparently came out for a while.
Yeah, it's been around for a while.
Before it got fatwa'd.
Yeah.
So it was actually around for a while. It didn't got fatwa'd upon release.
Yeah,
no.
It got fatwa'd years later, months or years later.
It took them years to finish the book. He just
everybody fell asleep.
This is fucking taking ages, man.
And it's like, that was the thing. Is like, what was the big deal? Like, and which caused. When they say the Muslim community, the problem is that people see the word community, but they don't realize it's a bunch of individuals that construct the community, and nobody dared to look at hey guys, you know what? This is a piece of shit. This is
why the fuck are you getting angry?
The Japanese. I saw the video where the Japanese translator got axed. He was in the conference, and the dude ran towards him with an axe and just fucking.
Well, I mean,
Wu-Tang Pow. Because he translated the Satanic Verses in Japanese. Got Wu-Tanged. Yeah.
See, shit like that, where it's just like, yo, you are not... I don't know. I wasn't around, but, I don't think that, during the Umayyad Caliphate, they were thinking, hey, you know what? In a few thousand years' time, you know who we're gonna need? Some random Lebanese dude to stab
everybody had forgotten about it.
No one gives a... You're not the savior of Islam, bro.
When I saw that kid's face, it kind of ties back to our previous segment, is that was he looking for a purpose too?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Because I saw his
100%.
face and I was like,
oh yeah.
I think you look like a bored gamer.
That's what
bored Lebanese gamer who just you know what? I'm going to make a name for myself.
Right.
I'm going to go stab Salman Rushdie, right? And people are going to love me. Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's what scares me about, I don't want... That's part of the reason I don't, I like the idea of having kids.
Yeah.
Is because... sure, you can be around as much as you want, but there are going to be times where you're not going to be there.
Right.
And when you're not going to be there, you hope you raise them well enough to make the right decisions.
Yeah.
But if everyone has a bad day. Everyone has a day when everything's just going wrong. Yeah. And if the right or / wrong person comes along and says, hey, bro, I can show you something.
Yeah.
I can give you something. I can give you a purpose for the rest of your existence.
Yeah.
The rest of your existence is about 40 minutes, but the rest of your existence.
Mm-hmm. You do it.
You do it.
You do it.
You do it.
You give it grand purpose. You do it now.
I just feel really bad. I feel bad.
And he pleaded not guilty. But they were like, "How do you plead? Not guilty, Your Honor." What the
motherfucker? We saw you,
dude.
You're on 4K.
Man, Jesus. Yes. There's 70 cameras pointed towards your fucking face there.
Yeah, there's even a boomerang.
Apparently,
he got a few in.
He got a few in.
Yeah.
But apparently, even as they were trying to remove him, he kept going.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yo, that kind of anger, I don't think that comes from an ideological perspective.
No, that kid had issues there.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm gonna show, because I'm
gonna show the world that I'm a big man.
I'm gonna be in history as a guy who stabbed Salman Rushdie.
Right.
Oh my god.
And honestly, every day I'm like looking at the news, praying that he survives, because I'm like, God, don't die. Not only because I love him as a writer, because he is an important writer in a sense.
Right.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, don't give that little shit
the
satisfaction of dying under his knife, because he's gonna be a mediocre piece of shit if you're still alive. Yeah. And I want that for that piece of shit. Because he stabbed him in the liver. He tore his arm, completely severed his arm's nerves.
Holy shit.
And he's losing an eye, and he also cut his throat, by the way.
Dude, this guy was fucking, like, he went in on something.
He went prepared.
Straight up Wolverine, this dude.
Yeah.
Weird.
The thing is, he had two cops there. He had two bodyguards, two cops there. The thing is, nobody thought that he is going to
quick, man. In like how many seconds?
The thing with stabbing is that when you get close, it doesn't go like the movies that you go slow motion. I think it was very quick. Like he just tried to like, by the time they realized what the fuck this kid did is. And I'm pretty sure when you see a guy with a knife, you and it was a conference. Most probably they weren't trained guards. It was like a Bob and Dan paid $10 an hour.
Apparently, Salman Rushdie hadn't been going with a security console for like 9 years now.
He actually they said a couple of months ago. He said my life is relatively normal now. And I was like, oh, God damn it.
See, this is why you don't say things.
God damn it, son of a bitch.
This is why you never get confident. Always think you're gonna die, dude.
Gonna lose an eye, maybe lose an arm.
Yeah. If you're always in a panic attack, you'll never feel what it's like to have a panic attack. You're always panicking, you're never panicking.
That's the Hulk gambit, right?
Yeah.
That's my secret. I'm always scared.
Yes.
I mean, I will say this. There might be some truth to this. Maybe not walk around with constant anxiety attack.
But
like, don't be cocky.
Don't be
but
cocky.
Not cocky either. But then he is, right?
That's kind of his thing, yeah.
I spend a lot of my time right now listening to My Favorite Murder, which is a podcast about murder.
Oh, I genuinely thought it was like, no, it's My Favorite Murder. It's just one of them.
It's one of, just, like, oh, that's not a title. So
it gains in people.
It's
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Can you imagine Jeff Dunham being a serial killer?
Jeff Dahmer is his less successful brother.
Can you imagine Jeff Dunham? Trying to kill Salman Rushdie? I would die laughing.
He's his midget brother.
Right? Die! I kill you! Oh god, that is and it's this community full of women who exchange stories about serial killers and murderers and rapists, and they just get together, have a really good time, scaring the shit out of each other about these terrible stories that happen to random people across the world. And I think it's because they're trying to arm themselves with like protective knowledge, essentially. That's why I think a lot of women are into true crime. They're trying to arm themselves with protective knowledge. Which I think Salman Rushdie should have done.
If he didn't get the memo,
if he had a gun, he wouldn't be in the hospital.
I'm not trying to victim blame.
Just to connect the two episodes that I'm in. If he had a gun, he wouldn't be in the hospital. So just saying.
A big gun.
Yeah.
And he just thought. I can't blame him because there's only so much you can.
Satanic verses, ballistic verses, motherfucker.
No, you can't blame him.
You can't blame him.
He's had a life. At a certain point, you're gonna want to relax.
Here's my motherfucking verses.
Yeah,
you're gonna want to relax. So I completely understand that.
There's only so many times you can bet Padme Lakshmi before you realize my life is currently safe.
Yeah. Oh, that chick. Yeah. He betted that. Oh.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
They married?
I did not know that.
Oh, they married?
Yeah.
They married and
divorced.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
He marries and divorced quite often. And he's very good with the ladies. The girls love him. He's very charming.
Yeah, everybody loves, Indian Muslim. Everybody loves Indian Muslim George Costanza, doesn't it?
George Costanza.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me someone who doesn't look like George fucking Costanza with a thesaurus.
Indian Muslim George Costanza. I love that.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever had that.
I wrote the verses, Jerry. I wrote the verses. They didn't like the verses. They didn't like the verses. I thought it was a metaphor. Did you tell them it was a metaphor? I didn't think I had to tell them it was a metaphor. It was pretty obvious it was a metaphor. Well, you can't just write a metaphor and not tell people it's a metaphor. That's how you get killed.
What's the deal with metaphors?
What's the deal with metaphors? Is this a metaphor? Who knows?
Oh, God.
Who knew that this...
And then Kramer comes in and stabs him.
Kramer, if it ain't white, it ain't right.
Yeah, right.
If anyone's stabbing, it's probably Kramer.
God damn it. I love that. I really
I found a knife. I just gotta figure out where to put this, or who to put it in. And we're in business, baby.
Maybe, just maybe, the guy who stabs Salman Rushdie was just a over-eager sushi chef.
Salmon?
Maybe he was just very confused.
Right.
And he just really wanted to get started on the semester.
Right. Yes.
Let me show you how determined I am, master.
Omakase, motherfucker!
Sensei, I will prove to you that I am worthy of this knife. I will be a sushi chef.
Dude, you're Lebanese. What's with the accent?
You were born and raised in Chicago, dude.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
They run me out of the sushi restaurant because you will never be a sushi chef until you are Japanese. But I will be Japanese.
So I come and cut the best bits of the salmon.
In order to become a true sushi chef, I should get the king salmon. The only salmon there is.
The Rushdie salmon.
The Rushdie salmon. Is it true that they say that Ayatollah actually tried to kill him? So because Ayatollah wanted to be a sushi chef too.
Yo, the whole Iranian revolution was because Ayatollah Khomeini was just like to be a sushi chef.
No, you're disconnecting.
It would be funny because Iran's got really good fish, actually. It does. I've been to Tehran when I was young.
Our fish is off the charts. We can make good sushi out of that shit.
You could.
Yeah.
Also, it's one of the few countries in the world where you can get sturgeon.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Beluga caviar.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's like...
produce it, yeah.
Yeah, it's Iranian. Like, it's a huge industry in Iran.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably very likely that if you went to, like, Nobu...
Nobu?
You got some Iranian caviar on your incredibly expensive sushi.
Is that why it was trying to go for the eye? Because the eye is the most expensive part of the salmon.
Tuna,
It was trying to. That's why he stabbed him there. He wanted to make this eye sushi.
Yeah, this makes sense.
I will be a sushi chef by presenting this to my sensei.
We're going straight to hell.
He's a Lebanese guy who speaks with a very racist Japanese accent.
Making fun of a man who nearly died.
I know, Akbar, motherfucker. I would be a sushi chef.
Oh my God. All this over what?
Inshallah, I will be a sushi chef.
God damn it, man.
all this.
This episode is gonna be problematic for my future.
Just a little bit. No, but it's weird. All of this ruckus over a mediocre acid trip.
Yeah, that's the worst part. Is that the book isn't as good.
The worst part, as I always said, the book didn't worth the fatwa. It was horrible. It was a waste of good fatwa.
I haven't read it, but I'm looking at the synopsis and I'm like, this is not a compelling story. This feels like a collection of ideas that you come.
That's what. Yes. Yeah. It feels like a collection of ideas from someone who's trying out something.
Yeah,
right.
Like you said, like Milton's Paradise Lost, or even better, Dante's Divine Comedy.
Yeah.
It's exactly kind of like that. It's like every segment seems very separate.
Yeah.
It's like different ingredients that really shouldn't be there, but they're there, and he's trying to make it work. Well,
like
Dante,
sushi.
Like sushi.
Yeah.
It all comes full circle. Well, hopefully that son of a bitch heals up and doesn't die on me, because I really
don't want to have that.
I really don't want to have that as an Iranian. I do not want to have that on my conscience, and also I think he's an important writer, and what happened to him was really fucking up.
Yeah.
He's a 70-plus-year-old man.
Yeah, life is gonna kill him soon enough, man.
The thing is, like, he didn't have, and he's not athletic, so like, the dude, by the way, the Lebanese guy who attacked him was a towering 6 foot.
Oh shit!
It wasn't a small dude. It was much. It was at least like a foot, 2-3 feet higher than him. Like, you just grab an old man, think you're a big guy. I'm gonna show my masculinity.
Really?
By stabbing this little guy who's like barely can see.
Yeah.
Now
this is what really annoys me about lone wolf attacks with regards to like religiosity. Because if you're a Muslim, right?
Yeah.
There are so many other issues that this diaspora needs resolved.
Yeah.
That don't involve, just one purple prose writer just, writing a book that most people won't be able to understand. All I did was read a synopsis. I still don't understand what the hell the book is about.
For fuck's sake.
Right? I don't understand what the point of the book is.
It's such a small thing.
What is the arc exactly in this book? What is the 3 act?
Right.
It's such a small thing too.
Your Freytag triangle is probably some kind of hexagon. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you really were somebody who wanted to make a name for himself, and especially if it was for your faith, don't you think there are people out there who share your faith that need help?
Yeah.
Go ahead, help feed the people in Gaza. Help the refugees in Syria. But the thing is, here's even worse.
Right.
He is not a Lebanese from Lebanon.
Yeah.
He's born in America.
Right.
He doesn't even need to work for a visa.
Right.
I think that's like an identity thing.
An identity, don't pull that identity shit.
No, I know, I don't agree with it, but he's definitely like.
When half of Middle East is drowning in the fucking sea, trying to get to a better life.
Yep.
And you have it, but because you're such a miserable piece of shit, you're like, I'm gonna go stab this guy.
And now,
fuck you.
And
you
now
have any idea?
And now there's gonna be a whole bunch of people who won't be able to get it because every time they look at people who are trying to get in, they're gonna look at him.
Exactly. It's like, well,
you fuck up everyone else's opportunity because you were selfish.
Oh, you're Lebanese. Muslim. Your name is. No. Sorry, cannot. It's like, you have any idea how difficult it is for a Middle Eastern who's not from Arab nations like the southern, like Emirates or Oman or
the money Arab.
If you're not the money Arab,
you're not a money Arab.
If you're not the money Arab, do you have any idea, or a money Iranian? Right. Do you have any idea the difficulty and the fucking sheer difficulty of trying to land a job, trying to go through legal ways to immigrate to another country, let alone the illegal ways that the dangers you have to face there.
Yeah.
And you're in America.
You were born there.
You're born there. You have the privilege. I know your father fingered you when you were 2. Your mother told you you have a small dick, and you have all this baggage that you have to deal with. Still, fuck off.
Right.
you could have got your life together. You have more opportunities than people dream of. Like a kid in Yemen, his only concern now is to I hope I have water running for the bombing.
Yeah.
So I can take a bath or take a drink.
Right. Yeah.
Or take a drink, just a sip. And you were there, you're like, I don't know what I need to do. I'm because my father is Lebanese, but I'm not gonna fucking take part of the culture and become part of the culture of America. I'm gonna maintain that identity, and I'm gonna go throw it all away.
Yep.
I'm hoping to God they send them back to Lebanon. I'm hoping to God. I know this won't happen because it's not culturally acceptable.
Right.
I hope to God they fucking send them back to wherever the fuck he came from, and his whole family too. Why don't we go fuck himself? Piece of shit. What an asshole.
It's really sad. Because it's I think they think they're doing all of us a favor.
He thought he was doing something very cool.
Yeah, he thought he was doing something cool. He thought he was helping whatever cause he has. But at the end of the day, you make it more difficult for everyone who even looks like you. Yeah. Just it's already hard. It's already you should know how fucking hard it is. And just to throw it away for what?
And if it never really sipped into your head, the thing is, up until the last second that you do the stabbing, you have a chance to stop. I would 100%, I would even be even if the person drops the knife on the point and doesn't do the stabbing and he gets arrested, I'd be like, that guy at least is redeemable.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you're in the crowd, you have the knife, your heart is pulsing, and you're looking at Salman, and it still doesn't, you're like,
what is this?
That it doesn't even occur to you, the height difference. Then it's just an old dude with one knee replaced, and years of drug abuse, and all that, who's a very good writer, and he's actually very articulate, and I might actually learn something from it. It doesn't occur to you that maybe what I'm doing is a little fucked up.
Yeah.
Maybe, why don't I go and debate him? You know what? Debating is going to require me to use my fucking brain, so you know what? I'm going to stab.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't occur to you, that means that you're extra levels of piece of shit. But I bet there's other people who Muslims have looked at them and thought about doing that too.
Yeah.
As much as
any human
would have that same thought if they care about something very much and they think that thing has been insulted to. That's a natural thought that you would have. And then that you look at them, but a lot of them have looked at them and you know what, you're not worth it, because Islam is, because of his action, Islam became tainted even more now.
Yeah.
Now nobody's gonna look at Islam the same way again.
Right.
It's not that they did anything.
Not that they enjoyed us before,
but you didn't help it either. It's oh yeah, by the way, don't even mention that thing, that religion, because they're very touchy about it. They might cut off your head. So it was no matter how many times I go on a stage and say Islam is a peaceful religion, well, the actions are not really proving otherwise.
That's it. I tend to tell people that you got to separate what the religion says from what the people do.
That's true.
One thing is not the other. And I do that with pretty much all religions as well as adherents, because I still am a great admirer of Buddhism. And I have to make that separation between that and what's happening in Myanmar, for instance. Yeah. Right? I'm a great admirer of the Japanese and all of the stuff that they do. Everything from technology to tentacle hentai. Everything.
Yeah. But I'm also aware of what they've done.
I'm very aware of what I have the photos. My granddad's photos. And also how that undercurrent of fascism never really left Japan. It's just sort of simmering underneath the surface.
To boil.
Right, because that's why Shinzo Abe got assassinated. Really.
Yep. I thought it was from a left.
As a leftist, because Shinzo Abe, his background is really fascist.
Oh, okay.
His background, he might not be, but the whole trying to rebuild Japan's military and whatnot, it comes from an undercurrent of fasciness. Yeah, and his predecessors are are just monsters. Like, not even war criminals. Just some disgusting, you know.
He was very dishonorable.
Oh, we're going back to the sushi thing? Okay,
he will never be a sushi chef.
okay.
Yeah, the thing is, everybody. The thing is, all the politicians in the heart want to be a sushi chef.
Ever since Jiro Dreams of Sushi came out, they're all like, I wish I knew how to make a tuna belly.
And the guy looked at them.
I have to just win Pulitzers.
The one in DB was originally called the Unagiri.
The guy made a double barrel shotgun.
There's a Japanese person somewhere who's just clapping but also weeping. It's true.
It is true. Yeah. Now I'm gonna kill myself because it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday?
Yeah, why not? You know?
Oh, jeez.
That South Park thing. It's just like the Japanese people think their favorite activity instead of killing other people is to kill themselves.
They have one of the highest suicide rates, to be fair.
I mean, but to also be fair, it's a very stressful place, and I think
it's not exactly a calm place.
It could be.
It could be.
Yeah,
but
it would be with a samurai sword. And if you have a good sushi.
No, but it's
only there was enough salmon to go around.
Yeah, well.
Oh, what a beautiful book that would be.
Yeah.
If only there was enough salmon.
Yes. There is that book called, what's it? Salmon in
Yemen?
Yeah.
Fishing salmon in Yemen.
Yeah.
I heard about that.
Yeah, well, now.
If there was only salmon.
Well, you caught salmon, what are you going to do about it now, Yemen?
You got shot in the ass and died.
Fishing salmon in the,
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Well, I hope Salman Rushdie actually.
I hope he's okay.
It's actually Salman Rushdie.
Yeah.
But I hope Sam and Yoshi would come
I hope
this.
he managed to swim upstream once more.
I hope he managed to swim upstream. And
who knows? His last book will probably be about some magical salmon.
Yeah.
Who swims upstream and turns into an angel.
And then we're just like, oh, you arrogant fuck.
Was trying to be haunted by Shinzo out there.
Oh, yeah, but I hope he gets through it. I hope he's okay.
I hope he's okay, and I hope he writes another book.
I wish more Muslims did that, actually. Like, writing books.
Yeah, in a language everybody else can read it.
Yeah.
You know?
Fucking hell, man.
I mean, there are a few, but you don't hear about them, I guess.
No.
No, you don't hear about them because they don't have a throat. They don't have the instrument that requires noise.
Oh, you mean a neck? Yeah. There you go.
Alright, Salman. Hope you pull through. I'm ending the segment.
Hugs and kisses, but not too hard. You're probably still bleeding.
May one day you become a sushi.
A Sufi sushi.
Hey!